All right, I wanted to do something a little bit fun. As you guys know, this week is Summer Games Fest. Now, Summer Games Fest put out a little document saying all of the studios that were going to be involved with Summer Game Fest. And I wanted to talk about some that are in here, some that aren't in here, and what we can expect from them throughout Summer Games Fest. And it starts off immediately really interesting. The first studio on here is 1047 Games. Now, this is the studio that is making Splitgate 2 in particular. Now, yesterday, Splitgate 2 put out a trailer that we did watch on the channel, and essentially it was showing a story for the game that was actually really in-depth story, really deep. And I made a video and I said, they have story. Are they going to have a campaign? They responded later that day and said, it's not a campaign, think bigger. June 6th. So I think that they are actually shadow dropping / launching their game during Summer Games Fest, and they are announcing something big coming to the game. I just don't know what that is. Some people are saying Battle Royale, but I don't think it's going to be that. Mod Sport, it's going to be something native to the game. I just don't know what that thing is. So that's 1047 Games. 2K could be a lot of things. You got Borderlands in there. You got Mafia the Old Country. Potentially Rockstar with some GTA, but I very highly doubt that. After this, no Elgato Signal. After this, 505 Games. So 505 Games has done actually a lot. They put out a ton of games, specifically as a publisher. Sniper Elite 3, Payday 2. A lot of the times they hop on things like Dead by Daylight. I'm guessing we're going to be getting something from Dead by Daylight. But as a whole, I don't really know the thing. If you go to their website, Wu Chang Falling Feathers is the game that they're currently promoting as a pre-order. So I'm guessing it's that. Amazing Season, I don't know much about that. Amazon Games, you're looking at Lost Ark or maybe something new. I wouldn't be surprised if they put something out that is new. Annapurna Interactive, man, that's hard to say. I have a prediction for this one. I know that they have been working on an Outer Wilds, not 2, but a sequel to Outer Wilds, and that was their biggest game ever, and I think we're gonna get something from that. Now, whether that's an Outer Wilds 2 or whether that's another name of a game that kind of follows the same formula, I don't know. As far as Atari goes, okay, I pulled up their website. There's nothing in particular that I would expect here. Roller Coaster Tycoon, always amazing. They have a huge library of games and really could pull out any of them with some sort of remastered new games. I don't really know, but nothing crazy there. Bandai Namco, there's a couple things. First of all, Elden Ring Night Rain just came out. We also have the game that's coming out on Nintendo for them, which I always forget the name of. Is it over here? I don't have it open. But yeah, they have a lot going on that front. And then you have Tekken. They'll have a few games, I think, going on. And then Bell Ring Games. It's the one that I am blocking here. Now, I looked up this company and it brought me to this website. And I've never heard of them before. But there's this game called Mistfall Hunter. And it is a PvPvE extraction RPG. I don't know what this game is, but just based off the name alone, I am interested. And when you go to their website, it's there's a beta opt-in. So I'm guessing when we go to this, it takes us to the Steam page, and it says releasing in 2025. I don't know much about this one, but beta launch announcement. So it's going to be interesting, and there is gameplay out there because it's beta number 2. But I haven't heard of this one, so it's interesting nonetheless. Moving into the second line there, starting out with Bloomhouse Games. This was one I really wasn't that familiar with. Went to their website. They kind of have these spookier style games, kind of the Steam games right now. Fear the Spotlight, Sleep Awake, that kind of thing. Nothing crazy there. Capcom, I'm going to make a prediction here. There's lots that could potentially be from Capcom, Street Fighter. Of course, they've got Monster Hunter Wilds, things like that. But new Resident Evil game. That's my guess from out of them. That's my prediction for this line here, that's my prediction. CD Projekt Red, we know that they already showed us some Witcher 4 stuff yesterday. It's possible that we get a little bit more. Coffee Stain. Coffee Stain's an interesting one. They have a lot of different things. Valheim, Deep Rock Galactic, Goat Simulator, bunch of games on their front. Now, as far as they go, I think we're going to see a lot of movie and TV announcements this year. I think the Valheim movie, we might see something from them there. Day of the Devs is like one of the productions that they're having during this. After that, Devolver Digital. Again, there's a lot that Devolver Digital could have here. They have a million different games and a lot of really, really good games. Skate Story is one I think we might see more of. Shroom and Gloom is one I've seen a little bit more recently. Enter the Gungeon 2. There could be a lot that they have. They have a million good games and really good studio. And then we have Digital Extremes, which that is the studio behind Warframe and Soulframe. Maybe a little bit more DLC, something along the lines. And then the last one I had never heard of, Dodimu. Absolumes, I'm guessing the game that they're going to be showing off as they have an upcoming demo and things like that. But personally, I didn't know that studio at all. Moving on to the third line here. First off, starting with Dreamhaven. I didn't know this studio at all. The game that they have right now advertised on their website is Sunderfolk, so maybe a little something from that or maybe something new from them. Embark. This one is a super interesting one. I think we are going to get the shadow drop of Raid, or Arc Raiders, sorry. And we might also see something from the finals as well. So they might have two things getting showed off. But yeah, I think at the very least, we are going to get the release date for Arc Raiders. At the very most, it will launch on the same day. But the full launch of 1047's game, Splitgate 2, is said to be on the 6th as well. Like, they're going to be making an announcement and dropping the full release of the game that day. And Embark, I'm guessing, might be doing something similar. As far as Enhance goes, this is an interesting one. So you'll see it right there beside Epic Games. From what I've seen, this is a studio that isn't really working on games, although Humanity is a game. But they like more so, like if you go to Synesthesia Labs, they create this like almost like 4D experience kind of thing, which I don't know if they're going to be showing it off there or anything like that, but I found that one interesting. Epic Games we talked about yesterday during the Unreal event, so I'm not going to go over that. Focus Entertainment. Now, this is a studio that worked on Space Marine 2. They've done many other things. I'm not sure what they're going to be presenting there. Frontier is a studio that does like the Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, things along those lines. Then we have Funcom. Funcom is the studio that is working on the Dune MMO right now. So I'm guessing their big thing that they're going to be showing off is the Dune MMO, talking about the launch of that. That is, I believe, coming out this month. So that would be my best guess as to what's coming there. But some other properties you can see here. But Dune Awakening is a big one. Mutant Year Zero, will probably see something from that as well. After that, we have Frontier. Oh, no, we already talked about Frontier. I Am 8-Bit. The big game that they did that I know about is Sea of Stars, which is an amazing game. If you haven't played that game, check it out. And then we have IO. Why does my Elgato keep doing that today? It might be because it's hot this week here and my office is starting to overheat. Could be, but I don't know. Like, it's kind of happening randomly. And then we have IOI, or IO Interactive. Now, this one's interesting because my Elgato doesn't work and it hates me. But they have been working on a game, 007 First Light. Now, this is the studio that makes Hitman games. They also have Mind's Eye going on, which I haven't heard great things about. But this is the thing that says game reveal this week. I think this game reveal is going to happen today, which I hope I get this video out today. But I think it's going to happen during the PlayStation showcase, the direct for PlayStation that is happening today. I could be wrong, but the fact that it doesn't say during Summer Games Fest, I'm guessing that they're going to put it during PlayStation. And I'm guessing this is going to kind of look like a James Bond style Hitman game, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's getting revealed this week. I'm very interested to see what that one's all about. So next line, we have Cacao Games, probably saying that one wrong. I didn't know anything by them, so I've really not much to say there. Kinetic Games is the studio that made Phasmophobia. Now, this is an interesting one for a couple reasons. We all know Phasmophobia, but they announced, I think today, that they are working on a movie for Phasmophobia, and I'm guessing, again, this might be another movie reveal that we get for this game. during Summer Games Fest. So that's 2 so far, 2 movies that I have predicted so far. Then we have Kuro Games, Kuro Games. I think I'm saying that. I believe that's Withering Waves. Then we have Level Infinite, which from everything I've seen, they do mobile games. They were this studio behind Exoborn. That's all I really have for that one. Magic the Gathering, we know what that is. Megabit, they are the studio behind the new game Thick as Thieves. This one looks interesting, but it's a PvPvE multiplayer stealth game set in the 1910s. We saw this one, I believe it was at the Game Awards. So this is probably the game I'm guessing we are seeing from them. Will it be good? I don't know. PvPvE seems to be like the newest big thing in video games. Ask Call of Duty, they've been struggling with that one lately. And then we have the MetaQuest, which there'll probably be a bunch of things for MetaQuest. Mundfish is at the studio that was behind Atomic Heart. That game actually sold gangbusters. Like, it was an actual really, really big game. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was a game of the year or anything like that, but Atomic Heart 2, definitely a possibility there for maybe a launch from a year or 2 from now. NC, I don't really know anything from NC. Neki, again, do I know anything from this studio? I don't think I do. I think I quite literally know nothing from them. Then we get into NeoWiz. Now, NeoWiz, I believe, is the studio behind Lies of P. So if you like those like kind of Souls-like games, you might see another one or an expansion for Lies of P. Nexon, they made Maple Story. They also did the Kazan Berserker, the first Berserker. Is that it? That one that just came out this year. So maybe some DLC for that from them. Then we have Niantic. That is the studio behind Pokemon Go. I think the Monster Hunter one was the most recent one that they made like that. So maybe expect some sort of new ARG style, like artificial reality phone game from them, from another studio. Right beside them, though, is Nintendo Switch, which of course we have the Switch 2 that comes out tomorrow. So maybe a couple more announcements from them, maybe another look at Metroid, maybe another look at Donkey Kong. I don't expect to see anything crazy from them. And then Newverse, I believe that's one of the studios behind Marvel Snap. I don't know what else they do offhand, so nothing crazy there. Second last line down here, we have Pearl Abyss. I don't know anything by them. As far as Playside goes, I pulled up their website. They have a bunch of stuff. They're a support studio on a couple different games. Like, for example, Warcraft 3. What's another one? The Walking Dead, The Saints and Sinners. So like games like that. And the one that might be coming out is Mouse PI for Hire, as well as the game that they are working on is called Age of Darkness. So that's be kind of some of the couple things that they have. PlayStack's an interesting one because they are a publisher that has a pretty good track record with indie games. One of their most recent ones was Balatro, which cleaned up at the Game Awards last year. PlayStation has their presentation later today. Ghost of Yotai will probably be the biggest game on there. The other 2 that I'm looking to see is Naughty Dog's Intergalactic, and hopefully, please, Wolverine. That's the one that I want to see there. Now, will we? Probably not. PM Studios, do I know anything from them? I don't think I know anything from them. Razer, and then Sega. Sega could be anything. Could be a new Sonic game, something along those lines. Then we get into our last line. And as we get into this, look for one studio that is not on here. You can probably name a couple, but there's one big one that is not on here. And I want you guys to think about it, and I'll mention it at the very end because this last line is actually pretty good. So this last line, I have a bunch of speculation with. So first off, Soft Rains. This isn't one with speculation, but as far as they go, I think they're a pretty new studio. If you go to their website, it says they have an unannounced game with a new IP. This is probably what they're going to be showing off here, would be my guess. So the only thing we know is set in a lush, fantastical sci-fi world. That's all we know about this one. Then we have Square Enix. This could be oodles and oodles of things. Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy. I think they have a Power Wash Simulator 2 coming out as well. Then we have Steam. Steam could be a lot of things, so I'm not going to dive too much into that. Then we have Supermassive Games. They have 2 games coming out this year. They have Little Nightmares 3, and then they have another one, which is over here, titled Directive 8020. Little Nightmares 3, if you know, if played Little Nightmares, you know what this one is. But Directive 8020 looks pretty interesting. Again, going with the horror. It's Dark Pictures. It's a Dark Pictures game, so it goes with the anthology of those games. So essentially, it's a story game, but it's a story game set in the outer...
I've always wanted to fly.
That's loud.
The joy.
Set in outer space. So it should be good. I really do like their games. They do a really good job of storytelling. So that's definitely one we're going to be checking out. Then after that, we have an Elgato breaking as well as Techland. Now, Techland is the studio behind Dying Light. They have Dying Light the Beast, which I don't think we've had an announcement of a date for that game yet. I think it's set to be coming out this year. It's a bit different of a game. I don't think it's a full price game. But it's going to be like more in a forest as compared to like their other games are in a city. Then we got Xbox, which they have their whole direct on Sunday. That one, I believe, is focused on Outer Worlds 2. We're waiting to see if we get a Call of Duty. There's definitely going to be the Gears of War Reloaded in there somewhere. Probably another couple surprises too as to what is coming out in like July and August. But I think August was Gears Reloaded. So maybe one game in July and then maybe a game in September, and then announcements as to what's coming to Game Pass maybe in the fall, and hopefully a Call of Duty announcement in there as well. And then I don't know Xsola. I do not know that studio. And then Yacht Club Games. That is the one I believe behind Shovel Knight. So maybe some sort of new Shovel Knight game. So let me ask you the question once again. Which studio was not on here? It should have been somewhere in this area right here. That's Ubisoft. Ubisoft is nowhere on the Summer Game Fest lineup. Now, there is 2025 partners. This is round one. So this is like kind of like their main poster. If this was a concert, if this was Coachella, they would be showing that and that alone. Now, if I go to another website, I'm curious if Ubisoft is on it or not. I can go to the website directly and hopefully it'll pull up a list. No, this one doesn't have it. If we go in here, you can see all of the events. So State of Play. So State of Unreal, that was yesterday. We covered that. State of Play, that's at 5 p.m. Eastern time tonight. So that will be streaming and covering on this channel. And then the big night, opening night, June 6th, as well as the Day of the Devs. We then have June 8th being the Xbox showcase, as well as the Death Stranding 2 showcase and the PC gaming show. Partners here. Yeah, so there's no Ubisoft. There's no Ubisoft. That's wild. Like, very, very wild. Zero Ubisoft whatsoever. So yeah, I was guessing that we were going to get a trailer for the Black Flag 2. Not Black Flag 2. Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake. But I guess not. I guess we'll be getting nothing from Ubisoft, which kind of insane with the state that their studio is in. But they did say that they're going to be working hard on new things. No Assassin's Creed DLC, Far Cry, Division, and they have a Division 2 update coming out. And that's not, it's weird. It's weird that they don't have nothing on there as of right now. Maybe that'll change. But yeah, 1047 and Embark looking for shadow drops. And then big surprises. I think it's going to go to a new Resident Evil game. That's my guess. And hopefully the one I'm hoping for is PlayStation Tonight, Wolverine. Those are my guesses. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking. There'll be another game or another video today about the PlayStation press conference. We'll cover that whole thing. And then we're into Friday. Friday's a big day.